Today, I will be discussing where we see behavioral decision theory in the movie Juno. To summarize, after a single event with her timid best friend Polly Bleecker, a smart 16-year-old Juno MacGuff unexpectedly falls pregnant. Initially, Juno considers abortion, but upon heavy contemplation, she decides she wants to take the adoption route. Juno did not want to give her child to just anyone, and eventually she lands on the wealthy couple of Mark and Vanessa Loring. After spending much time with the two, Juno and Mark grow very close. Mark reveals to Juno that he is not ready to be a father. Tensions rise, and Mark decides to leave Vanessa. Juno then allows Vanessa to adopt her baby as a single mother due to her strong commitment to motherhood. All while Juno and Polly find their way back to each other and form a relationship. Juno defies the typical teen mom stereotype. Juno is a charismatic and witty individual who has no desire to comply to social norms. It is clear that Juno is seeking to make the best decision she can in this complex situation. This story takes place in the early 2000s, and her portrayal is semi-realistic. It is definitely an exaggeration of the alternative peer group. Juno's portrayal is definitely geared toward a specific subgroup in terms of her style and interests, but her experiences as an adolescent in regard to her adolescent egocentrism and her avoidance to expressing emotions by using sarcasm due to discomfort. Juno is socially immature, which most high schoolers can identify with. For the most part, Juno is portrayed in a positive light, but her flaws and mistakes are not ignored. Polly is a gentle and awkward, shy guy. However, he is actually quite passive. He avoids conflict and he tends to go with the flow rather than making things happen for himself. Polly defies the stigma surrounding teen dads with his gentle and caring nature. Like Juno, Polly's interests and style fit the alternative subgroup, but but one thing that differs about Polly is he does not put up the tough front that many teenage boys do. It seems that adolescent boys his age could relate to him internally, but not socially. Overall, Polly is portrayed in a very positive light. Behavioral decision theory is the theory that individuals assess the pros and cons of courses of action through rational processes to determine a course of action that will result in desirable outcomes. The process first begins with determining alternative choices. Then, an adolescent determines potential negative outcomes for each choice, followed by them determining potential benefits of a choice. Then they consider the likelihood of each consequence. And finally, they form a decision based on those factors and determine a course of action. How the behavioral decision theory is seen in Juno starts when we see Juno work through the process of behavioral decision theory first when she's contemplating abortion. Juno goes to the abortion clinic and she sees one of her classmates, Sue Chin, protesting abortion. Sue Chin tells Juno that her baby already has fingernails, and this is the moment where Juno begins to weigh her options. We then see Juno running out of the clinic. In this moment, Juno is considering the options she has and which one will provide her the most favorable outcome. It seems that guilt might be a factor in her reconsideration and decision to put her emotions before a rational decision. When it comes time to pick adoptive parents for her baby, Juno must weigh her options to see who can provide her child with the best life possible. Juno desires to provide her child with a happy and stable life, and she knows she can't just pick anyone. When she stumbles upon the Lorings, she thinks they are perfect because on the surface, they look wealthy and put together. Juno even says that they look stable and normal, which is what she is looking for her child. Along with that, the Lorings are offering to pay for all of her medical expenses, which is a factor she considers when choosing them as that benefits her situation. When the Lorings mention open adoption, Juno immediately shuts them down. She has thought about her decision to go through with adoption and is aware that she will not want to contact the child in the future. Juno is considering all factors in her situation, including expenses, convenience, and the well being of her child and herself, which leads to her decision to pick the Lorings. At the end of the film, Juno finally decides that she wants to be with Polly. She leaves his mailbox full of Tic Tacs and then goes to talk to him at his track practice. Throughout her pregnancy, Juno denies her feelings for Polly. Juno realizes that there are so many things she likes about Polly, and she would gain so much from a relationship with him. Juno finally decides to stop ignoring her emotions and let Polly know how she feels about him. She says, "I think I'm in love with you," and follows it up with saying he is the coolest person ever. Juno's decision to say this to Polly is based on what is in her best interest and gain.